welcome to today's video. We are doing a tutorial on this look right here. It is very bold, this lip, but I mentioned a look like this in my unboxing of my Play by Sephora February box, which if you haven't seen it, you can click the link here. It'll take you straight to that video. I got a lipstick, this one right here from Makeup Forever, in my box, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I didn't expect that shade to show up because I thought it was going to be more reds and more pinks. But I could see this being a Valentine's Day color, even though it's not Valentine's anymore. We're more of like St. Patrick's because it's March. But who cares? I decided to do this look because you guys mentioned you want to see this lipstick with a winged liner or bold liner. And I hope that you will enjoy this. I had fun doing this video and relaxing and just kind of doing makeup for the day. And I hope you enjoy it. So if you want to see how to do this look right here, then keep watching. I've already prepped my skin, and I will tell you what I have applied for primer. And I use the Too Faced Hangover RX. So this is what the packaging looks like. You can get it at Ulta and Sephora. And underneath the eyes, after my eye cream, I use the Physicians Formula Refreshment Cucumber and Bamboo Eye Depuffer that I got from Target. And it is a very sort of cooling, depuffing, refreshing, all of the things that's in this name. And I use that just underneath the eyes just because I want to try it out. I've never really used products like this, and I do feel like it works and makes a difference under my concealer. Okay, so I've got a damp beauty blender. You guys know I love my beauty blenders, and that's like my go-to. And my sample that I'm going to use for foundation is the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Foundation in the shade Warm Ivory. I wore this in my last video, and I got some comments on it, and I have really enjoyed it. It's very thin, feels like nothing, covers really well. So I'm going to be working with this probably about that much. Well, no, I was going to swipe it, but if I need it again, I can always go back and use that same Q-tip. And then I'm going to take the rounded side of my sponge that's barely damp, wrapped it in some paper towel, got all the moisture out. I'm going to take the bottom side of it and take a little bit and start in the center of my face, which is where I need the most coverage. And I'm just going to kind of bounce this in and blend it out with my sponge. And it says on the website, the Bobbi Brown website, that you can use a sponge or your favorite brush. They do also I guess, recommend you use one of their brushes. Of course, most brands will say that anyways. They recommend using their brush for maximum benefit and payoff as far as coverage and color. But I don't really think you have to do that. I think you can do whatever, use whatever you've got. So I'm not quite sure exactly how much you would need because I'm working with a sample jar. I don't know, maybe the equivalent to 1 or 2 pumps, maybe? But it has a really nice finish, and I don't use any powder with it either, and it blends nicely. So I put most of it in the center of my face, whatever's left on the sponge, then I come in this outer parameters of my face where I don't really need the extra coverage. And I do feel like this warm ivory shade matches up really well with my skin tone, and it's just makes my complexion look nice and bright. Okay. Oh my, there's like a tear in my sponge. No. Okay, so now I'm going to work with it around my nose, lip, and chin. But this is pretty much what I would do with this foundation. Now, you could build this up because it does build up nicely. But for me, I like things super thin and super light. If you want more coverage, you would probably need to use a little bit more. But I do like the way this looks, and I do blend the heck out of it, as I do with any foundation. So I'm going to do my concealer, my brows, and then I'll be back to do the rest of the tutorial. My normal go-to blush that I use pretty much every time I do my makeup, because I keep all of my little stash products in my spare guest bathroom where I do my makeup, and I keep this in my medicine cabinet. And I always use this one. This is the Mineral Wear Talc Free, but this is a little bit more kind of rosy, and I wanted something a little bit neutral because we're going to do a dark lip. So I decided to go for this. So I would say any of these 2 types of shades would work. Let me hold both of them together. This is the LORAC tinge that I've had for I think about 2 years now, or a little over that, and I love it. It's one of my favorite blushes. I wear this every time I want to do something bold on the lips. If I can't think of what blush matches my eyeshadow or whatever makeup I'm wearing for the day, I can always count on this on working. So I think I'm going to go with this one, but you could do something a little bit softer and rosier as well. And I'm just going to kind of circular motions, kind of dust it on the apples of my cheek. And I know we're doing the makeup a little bit different order today, working on the face and then the eyes, but we're just gonna roll with it. If I keep looking down, I'm using my tablet as my new iPad as a second screen instead of my MacBook. So it's smaller, but it's more perfect in my workspace than my computer. So I'm sort of trying to get used to that. Okay, so now we need to do the glow because we're doing dewy skin, you guys. So I'm going to pile on the glow. We're going to get some glowiness. I'm going to start with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter and the Delium Tools 977 Sculpting Brush. This is what I use when I'm going to be applying cream products. And this is a very soft primer. It does have a pearlescent finish to it. It's not really like super dewy, but it's perfect as a priming step for highlighter. So if you want to elevate your highlighter that's a powder, you can always do something like this, or a cream highlighter as well. And I'm going to use that on this brush. As you can see, that's piled on, and that is the primer. It's almost in the same type of packaging as like the Opal, but those are the Shimmering Skin Perfectors in the liquid form. I feel like I have a hair. This is the Backlight Priming Filter. You can use your fingers. You could do pretty much whatever you wanted to do. A brush, beauty blender, whatever works to just get, oops, too much. Whatever works to get this product on. Take a little bit of this on the tip of my nose. With my finger, I'm going to go down the center of my nose, just kind of lightly. And also my cupid's bow, because why not? Alright, so then I'm going to layer up my two favorite highlighters, which if you've been watching my videos recently, it's of no surprise. We're doing these two just like I did. I have it upside down. Too Faced Diamond Highlighter, LORAC Starlight, absolute must-haves. The very best highlighters. So I'm going to start with the LORAC one, and I'm going to show you how this looks. This can be intense, but also soft at the same time. But when you put it over the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, do you see how that just, it's yummy. It just sort of pops. And I'm using a Morphe E8. And with my finger, Cupid's bow. You're not going to really see too much of the Cupid's bow because we're going to go over that with a dark color. And then again, going with that beauty blender and like melt everything together. Now, I do like to layer this, so I'll show you what that looks like. I know I'm going to look like a crazy disco ball, but we're going to go with it. I'm going to use this brush from Delium Tools, the 941. If you haven't seen my video of these new Studio 8 brushes, I highly recommend. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm just going to lightly kind of graze the tops of my cheekbone. Because this, as you can see, it is glow central here. Now, I'm going to go in with my Viseart. I want something really soft and light and kind of somewhat satiny on the lids. Super easy because we're going to do a wing liner, or attempt to do wing liner. So I have the Color Theory palette in Cashmere, which I love. It's the cool tones. I'm going to mix this matte ivory kind of whitish shade with this one here that's more of a champagne. They are very, very pigmented. That shimmer is really pretty. If you have this, you could even use that for your highlighter on your face. So I'm going to mix the two to kind of get like a satiny kind of vibe going on. Alright, so I'm going to take the Sigma E25. It's a blending brush, but it works just as well for applying eyeshadow all over the lid. I'm going to take quite a bit of this matte and then just lightly tap into the shimmer. And this is going to go all over the lid to kind of give us a pretty glow onto the lids. I do have just a tiny bit of my bronzer through the crease because I just kind of went over my eyelids with it, but we're going to add a little bit more definition there. Do the same thing on the other eye. These are extremely pigmented. And then to lightly define the crease area, I'm going to take a little bit of this sort of tan shade that's in this palette. Any color would work, and here is what it looks like up close, the shades. And I'm using a Morphe M441 brush, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this and go back and forth. I'm holding the brush, the very end of it. It's going to apply the least amount of pressure, and I just want to define my crease. I'm going to look down and just follow the natural shape of my crease. because we want this really soft. We don't want, well, for me, I don't want super intense eyeshadow. And then I'm going to go in circular motions just to make sure that everything is very well blended. So with that brush, let me show you what it looks like. I use these all the time. If you see my pink handled brushes, I love these. And this is a Petite Crease 231. So it's kind of like a pencil shape, but it's a little bit wider. Go back in with that same tan. And then I'm just going to kind of look up and go right there, lower lashes. Make sure that it connects on the outer corner to this crease. And I feel like that helps kind of ground the look a bit more. This is totally optional. You could do it a little bit darker if you wanted to. For liner, I'm going to use my Clinique one. This is my older one, the Pretty Easy. They did send me a new one in my Sephora, Play by Sephora box. I always get that messed up. For February, and I was so excited and pumped because I don't know how far this one is going to take me here because I've had it for a few months and I think it's drying out. But I'm going to start by doing a liner. I'm going to start super thin and then gradually thicken it up as I get to the outer corner. I may attempt to do the wing because I haven't done one in a while and I feel a little bit sassy today. I mean, as you can see how quick it is to get it super thin. I mean, it's not perfect by any means because I'm not an expert, but I just love this because this liner seriously is the easiest thing. You just kind of lay it down and you just kind of do short little strokes, connect a line. So easy. Alright, so we're at this point where I've got both liners almost as evenly in thickness as I can get them. And I remember I had this liner designer by Beauty Blender. I bought this, I don't know, like 2 years ago. And I don't remember really liking it because I feel like if this would have really been very helpful, or if I would have learned how to do this correctly, I would have been using it, I should say, more often and doing wing liner. But I think I'm going to attempt to do this. And I don't know if this is just a gimmick or whatever, but it's like a guitar pick kind of shape, silicone. I got a winged liner brush and some black eyeshadow, and I'm going to barely get any eyeshadow. I'm just going to lightly dip it into this palette. Like if I did the rounded side, would that work? I think that would give me a round shape. What's the point of having it rounded? Anybody know? Okay, so I'm going to line it up with the lower lash line and kind of holding it as if this lash line is going to come up and connect there. So I'm really concentrating here, you guys. Is it going to work? Okay, so I barely have just the tiniest bit of a shadow there, and so now the tricky part is to get the other side to kind of match up. So, is that going to match? So now I'm going to follow that line. Super easy to do with this liquid liner, and then I'm going to connect the line to my liner that I've already done. I think I need this mirror closer. Connect it. Okay. Hey. All right, you guys, look at that. Have any of you been doing liquid liner and you get it where it's like almost, but you're just like, it's just a little bit more, and then you mess it up? That's me. Alright, so I feel like I've tried to fix this as best as I can. I know that it's not going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that because it is what it is. So, moving on. Mascara, I'm going to use my Maybelline Total Temptations mascara. I'm also going to tightline as well, and I use the Charlotte Tilbury, the Legendary Eyes in Bedroom Black. Alright, so I've done my mascara. I did 2 really good coats of this, combed through it, and honestly, I feel like you can still see a lot of my lashes even though the liner is thicker than I normally wear. And I had pulled out the Kiss Ever Easy lashes, and I also have a pack of Ardell. They fell on the opposite side of my desk, but they are the wispies, and you can put a few of these on. If I'm going to do false eyelashes, I do something like this, and this is what they look like. So if you're interested in trying those, they're the easiest things to put on. Honestly, you put a little glue and then immediately apply them because that glue dries like this because it's a tiny little piece. But this mascara, although it's more of a wet formula, and I mentioned this in my last video, it does give me a lot of length, and I think that's important to have when you're doing a thick liner, because if your lashes are short and the liner is very thick, you're not going to see your lashes. So some outer corner lashes like these ones, the ones from Ardell, or even a full strip of lashes can help sort of bring more attention to the eyes. But I feel like I'm pretty good here. I may change my mind though, and if I do, you know, I'll let you know if I decide to put them on before the end of the video. So with the brush, I'm just taking off any little specks and smears. Now for lips, we're going to do the Makeup Forever M500 lipstick. So I went digging through my collection of lip liners, and I found two that I think are pretty good. I swatched quite a few of them since I don't wear colors like this very often that are kind of like deep berries, oxblood type of vamp shades. I don't have that many to choose from. I found the NYX lip liner in Plum. I think they still make these to be very, very close, and those are the two right there. I feel like that Plum is the closest that I could find in my collection. Here's the Plum and here's the M500 lipstick. They look, you know, in the viewfinder here in my mirror, they look almost exactly identical. So I'm going to line and fill. And I'm just going to apply it. Whoa. This is intense. So I think it does help that you line first because this is a very dark color. Concealer brush with a little bit of my Bare Minerals concealer, same one that I used. I'm working the concealer from the back of my hand. I use my hand as a palette. I'm going to go around the edges and try to clean this up a bit. As you can see, maybe not picking it up, but I am removing a little bit off of my skin. Alright guys, so that completes this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually really like it. I think it's different for me to wear such a bold lip because I'm usually more of a nudes, kind of just gloss, just easy type of colors. This one I feel like it's different, out of my comfort zone, but still really pretty, and I like the way it looks. Like, this is really a pretty shade. Something that I could see myself wearing again for the fall, for a date night, for a special event. Or heck, if you like to wear colors like this, go for it. It's a beautiful shade. And again, that's the M500. I think that they're all labeled that way. I don't think that they would be labeled any differently because they're in the Play by Sephora or Sephora Play, whatever it is, those boxes. But this lipstick is really pretty. It feels really nice. It's not super glossy and extremely creamy, but it's creamy enough where you can work with it, get it to blend and apply evenly. And I feel like it's going to be one of those that stays around for quite some time, especially since we went ahead and lined and filled with a matching lip color or lip liner. So I would suggest doing that if you want more longevity out of your lipsticks. Pair them with a matching lip liner and they will last you much longer than just wearing the lipstick on their own. So a little beauty tip there for you. So thank you so much for joining me for this look. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you recreate it, let me know how it turned out. If you have a social media account where you post pictures, please tag me. I would love to see it, and comment and give you a like on there as well. And of course, as always, everything will be listed down below for products that I use, and they'll be broken down for face, eyes, and lips, so it's easy to find. You can screenshot any portion of the list that you are interested in for shopping purposes, and you can also follow me on social media. I have Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. It's on the screen. You can follow me there, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, thumbs up the video for more videos like this in the future, and hit the notification bell so you get my videos sent to you. Thank you so much for being you and for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.